Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Carol Moulton coming to you once again. Tea Time with Carol. We've got something special for you today. We're going to talk about self sabotage. And I've got so much, I've been really working with it for the past couple of weeks. And so we've got quite a bit of material to share with you. And so I think we're going to have to do this over a couple of sessions. It's not going to be a one and done. But before we get started, come in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. And fluffed up the pillows. I'm pouring citrus lavender today because I want you to be nice and calm and relaxed and, really, really get this. This may be difficult for some to listen to, but just trust me. Trust me. If you stick with it, I think this will really bless you by the end of it. So we're talking about self-sabotage, and we're just going to kind of skim the surface of it a little bit initially, and on subsequent sessions we'll be doing a deeper dive. But I just want you to get used to the idea because this is such a, I don't know, hot topic, a difficult topic for some. But question. Okay, you ready? You got your tea? You got your pillow? You comfy? Okay, great. Thanks. All right. What if the way we got our emotional needs met as children is the way we sabotage ourselves as adults? Now, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions to start with, and I'll answer them as we go along. You're familiar with ego, and we frequently see that as a negative. But what if we really understand the role of ego and understanding how ego helps you move beyond self-sabotage and resistance to change? Let's see if you really understand how ego operates. So we'll get to that. What if you believe that you're not good enough or not smart enough or not deserving? Do you spend your time working to make sure others see what you want them to see? Do you control? You see people with, these perfect Instagram lives or perfect, Facebook reels, and everything looks perfect. They have the perfect children, the perfect homes. Nothing is ever out of place. They've got the perfect relationship. Do you spend your time working to ensure that that's what people see? Your work is perfect, your life is perfect, everything is perfect. But what do you do when all that perfection falls apart? So I will stop here for a second and share story time, because that was my life at one point. When I was practicing law, it was unthinkable for me to present as anything less than perfect. Perfect husband, perfect family, perfect law practice. Everything was perfect, perfect, perfect. Not. it was so much not. But the crazy thing is people who knew me saw the the craziness, saw that it wasn't real. But to me, it was so important that I project this control, that I have control over what everybody else saw. And it is kind of crazy. You think you're fooling people and you're really not. And I'm not saying this to be critical or to be, to criticize. I'm saying this from a place of love, that you want people to think a certain way, but you are absent to your true self. And there's a reason for all this, and we're going to get into all this, and hopefully you'll stick with me and get a better understanding as we go along. Um, what happens is that at some point, when you're trying so hard to maintain this, very, very controlled, very critical outer face, at some point it falls apart. And then what do? So you can either go and hide for the rest of your life, or you can do the inside work and come out better and thriving on the other side. So that's what I'm here to do. That's what I want to help you do. To help you with the inner work, help you to really start thriving through this, and to help you drop the mask. Help you drop the need to portray yourself in a certain way, and to help you to become more authentic. Because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, you ain't fooling nobody. But anyway, what is self-sabotage? So let's back up a little bit and talk about, well, what is it? What are we talking about? Well, there's a therapist, a coach, who named Alicia Goldstein, who says, when we move in the direction of growth, resistance comes alive. And the purpose of resistance is to keep you from discomfort. So, anytime you've gone on a diet, okay, let's just pick something that I think is common to many of us. When you go on a diet, all of a sudden, everything that you say you're not supposed to have becomes a thing that you really, really want. If you never think about potato chips, you say you're on a diet, and you just start craving potato chips or some other carb or some sweets or something. So that's the resistance, to what you say. What you say you want, what you say you're going to do. And why is that? Because well, let me just back up a little bit. All right. The whole purpose is to keep you from discomfort. Your brain sees change as uncomfortable. And your brain says, oh, well, no, we don't want to be uncomfortable because it's necessary for us to survive, to be comfortable. And so we want to keep you there. So that's kind of where the resistance comes from. And when you understand that, it makes it a little easier to deal with. All right, moving on. But you have to understand too what's blocking you, and why this resistance comes up. So let's look at some common blocks. Are you afraid of what others may think or say about what you're doing? Are you fearful of success? And sometimes it comes up as, if I'm successful, what will that mean? I'm too powerful. I'll be too much. Sometimes it comes up that way. It's really fear of stepping into your own power because you're afraid. Well, how will I fit into the world? You're comfortable at a certain point. You're comfortable where you are. Change can be really, really threatening. And maybe there's a part of you that's afraid of stepping into your real power. So just sit with that for a second. So also think about, what do you gain from not thriving? What do you gain from the pain? Or maybe you don't even see it as pain, So Debbie Ford, who's the head of the Ford Institute of Integrative Coaching, says that self-sabotage is the outer manifestation of inner feelings of shame, anger, unworthiness. We can only create as much joy, success, and love as we feel worthy of having. So when we don't feel worthy, when we don't feel like we deserve certain things, we can create self-sabotage maybe you've seen this at work. Here's another example. Um, People who are chronically late to their jobs, and they've been warned, and, they get in trouble and the boss doesn't like it, but they're late anyway. There's some cultural, sometimes there are cultural meanings for that too, but sometimes it's just self sabotage. It's like, I know I should do things differently, but, it's just too difficult for me to change. I just can't seem to do it. So just things to think about. Things to think about. Or maybe there's unhealed shame. It's not safe to be me. I don't fit in. I'm not accepted. Does that resonate with you? It's not safe. So you put on the mask so no one knows who you truly are, you know? And when you create this false self, it can come out in a lot of different ways. You may be a perfectionist, or you may be a slob. You may be the family hero or the family scapegoat. Who you really are goes into hiding. And if you've done this long enough, for enough years, you don't even know who your true self is anymore. So, how does this false self get created? How does this false self get created? Well, one study said that children, on average, are treated to, I use the word treated, advisedly, to about 25,000 hours of shame. From the family, from schoolmates, from teachers, from everywhere. And so we get these beliefs of how we should operate in order to fit in order to fit into our family, our tribe, the group. We've got these, we're taught these beliefs. And we learn either how to hide or be aggressive. We learn how to stay invisible. We learn how to stop having needs. I'm talking to women here. We learn how to stop having needs, because if we do, it equals trouble. So as children, we learn to follow the rules in order to be accepted. And we identify with the role that we were given. Maybe the role that you were given in your family was the hero, or you were the smart one, or you were the athlete. You play out those roles. And so, sometimes if that's not your true authentic self, it comes up. There's a conflict that's created. We want, our concern is survival and self-preservation, but there's a conflict between that and who your true self is. So anything that threatens the story of who we are creates resistance and sabotage. So we talked about the diets and how, how that operates. We frequently will sabotage ourselves when we say we're on a diet, because that's change and it's threatening. And we don't always understand that this is operating on a subconscious level. We don't we don't understand that. We just understand that we're in pain and don't always understand why. And so we want to move beyond what's terrifying. We want to move beyond the shame and the terror. So you say you want to change, but you feel like you can't. Well, I want to make a suggestion for you today, and that is you do one thing today and every day. Just start with one thing. And maybe you start with just making your bed when you get up. That's one thing. Just start there. It'll give you a sense of accomplishment. It'll help you. We're going to talk. I just want to give you an overview today. I don't want to go real deep. As we go forward, we'll talk more about how this operates on the brain level, and how more specifically you can incorporate real change in your life and lasting change. But today, I just want to kind of skim the surface of um, self sabotage and how it operates, so you become aware of those thoughts, aware of what's going on in the background of your brain that you're not always aware of, and how you seem to fall into these same patterns and don't understand why. So we just want to shine a little bit of a light today, and and just get started. So this is just part one, um, and we're going to be talking more about this as we go along. But I think in my reading this morning, um, the reading for today, my devotional is I Hear His Whisper. And the reading for today is called The Season of Change Has Come. And I'm just going to share with you the scripture for today. I think this is so appropriate, because we're talking about change, and this I think is a season for it. We're looking at the changing of the seasons. Summer's ending. We're entering into something new, and I think that's kind of a metaphor for what's going on with our lives. I hear a lot of people who want to make change in their lives, and this is designed to help you with that. If that's where you are right now, that there's some things that you need to change in your life and not sure where to start or how to go about it. All of what we're talking about today is that when you understand the background, why you can't make change, why you seem to do things the wrong way or sabotage yourself, and you want one thing but you're getting a different result, all of those things we're going to do a deeper dive in as we go forward. But the reading is from the Song of Songs, or Song of Solomon, and this is chapter 2, verses 11 and 12. The season has changed. The bondage of your barren winter has ended, and the season of hiding is over and gone. The rains have soaked the earth and left it bright with blossoming flowers. The season for singing and pruning the vines has arrived. So just think about this. The season has changed. Your season has changed from you needing to hide, from you needing to be in control, from you feeling like you're not enough, you're not good enough. Nobody will love you if they know who you really are. No one will accept you if they know who you really are. That season has changed. It's over. The bondage of your barren winter has ended. The bondage of those thoughts, those bondage of those terrors and the shame, all of that has ended. And the season of hiding is over and gone. The season of hiding who you are, who God created you to be, that's over and gone. The rains have soaked the earth and left it bright with blossoming flowers. That's you. That's you. You are the blossoming flower. You are the fragrance that is pleasing in God's nostrils. That's who you are. Wow. The season for singing and pruning the vines has arrived. And this process, that if you're willing to walk with me through this, is the pruning. It's the cutting up. I don't know if flowers and plants really enjoy the pruning part, when you have to cut back. But that's in order to make it bloom and grow bigger and better. So the pruning, this cutting, this dealing with change, with dealing with looking at things that are not necessarily comfortable, all that's needful. That season has arrived. And as we go through this process, it may not always be comfortable, but just stick with me. On the other side, you're going to be that bright blossoming flower. So, my darling, so my darlings, that is what I wanted to share with you today. We are going to continue through this series of self-sabotage because I believe that so many of us struggle with this, and we struggle in silence, and we struggle alone, and it's difficult, and it's hurtful, and it doesn't need to be. And the more transparent you become, and the more you are able to stand up and face it and look it in the face and say, that's not who I am anymore. I am enough. I am lovable. I am God's favorite. And it's cool for you to say that, you know. God loves me. I'm his favorite. I'm the favorite child. You know, it's cool. It's cool. And take your rightful place. You don't have to hide. You really don't. You don't have to hide anymore. You don't have to be afraid of your own power. You don't have to be afraid of the enemy. You don't have to be afraid of anything. So just come out wherever you are. And I'll be doing, this is going to actually be a group coaching. This is where this is actually intended to go, because I really feel led to do a lot of work, do a lot of sharing in this subject. I'll be doing a free group coaching on self-sabotage in October. And it'll be like maybe 2 sessions. And so if you want more information on that, you can contact me at 240-477-3872. And I'll also be posting on the Tea Time page on Facebook. There'll be more information on the free one, as well as I'll be doing another one that'll be more in depth, that'll be paid. But I'm doing this initially as a free maybe two-day session, and it'll be maybe like an hour or two each time, a week or so apart. But anyway, there'll be more details coming out on that. So if you're interested, let me know. We'll sign you up and get started. So with that, my darlings, we're going to end for today. Remember, I love you. I want to see you free and thriving and walking in your power and all that God designed you to be, because you are awesomeness itself. And until next time, remember, everything you want is on the other side of fear. Be blessed. Stay blessed. And until next time, this is Carol Moulton signing off. Walk in love, walk in peace. Be blessed. Until next time, bye-bye.